pelvic rocks. So here we have Marius doing a very subtle and simple exercise to relieve low back pain and to help him engage his deep abdominals. And you can see his pelvis tilting one direction and the other. Now there's a lot going on in this exercise, so we're going to break it down. Marius is going to pause in his neutral pelvis. We'll explain more on that in a moment, but first we have to talk about breath and core engagement. So he's going to inhale and let his belly rise up towards the ceiling, stretching out those low abdominal muscles. Now that those are sensitized, he's going to actually draw his navel in and back towards his spine, engaging his deep core, his transverse abdominis. Let's see what that looks like again. Nice big inhale, belly rises. And then he's drawing that navel, almost like he's wearing a corset, pulling that corset tight around his waist. Good, he's going to keep that engagement this time. He's going to start to imprint his low back so there's no space underneath his lumbar spine. He's going to try to relax his hip flexors, his butt, his hamstrings, all of that. And then he's going to shift his pelvis into what we call a neutral. So finding a little arch underneath the low back. Notice that his ribs didn't pop up. He's going to repeat that again. He's going to pull his core in to imprint. You see his pubic bone tip up towards the ceiling. Then he's going to shift back into that neutral. Two hip bones, pubic bone are all flat with the ceiling, creating a baby arch. It's not overarching. Show us, Marius, what overarching would look like. That's gone too far. So we're going to get back to that neutral. We'll pause there and then go into the imprint. Very slow, deep work, and then he's going to go back to a neutral. One more time. One more time. You can hear the New York City trains underneath us. So he's going to hold in that neutral. Next step of this, after you start to feel your low back open up, the next thing you got to do is some pelvic stability. It's going to help you walk out with a more stable pelvis, and then you'll keep your low back nice and open. So he's going to bring his two hands to his two frontal hip points, those bony prominences at the front. It's going to help him make sure he's not tipping in any way. So those two frontal hip points stay level. He's going to take a nice big inhale. He's going to exhale, draw that core in, slightly twist the left hip down so you can bring the right leg into a tabletop with no movement there. Good. And then he's going to put that foot down, still no movement in the front of the pelvis. And then he's going to switch sides. So he's going to twist the right hip down towards the floor slightly. Left leg in table. And then put that foot down. Marius, put your hands by your side so that our viewers can see. He's going to bring that right leg into table. You saw no shifting in that pelvis. Looks beautiful. You see a 90-degree angle at the knee and hip. And he switches sides. No shifting. These nice stripes to really show you exactly the angles. He's going to keep this right leg in table. For an extra challenge, if you're ready this morning, you're going to bring your left leg also into a tabletop. Good. He's got to really wrap that core in. Yes. And then you can just hold here, or you can start to lower one toe down, lightly tapping the floor, and then deepen the core to lift that leg back up. And then you're going to switch sides. Now this looks like not much, but if you're new to Pilates, know that the more you practice this, the more you're going to start to feel it in your core, and the more challenging it's going to become for your muscles because you're learning to engage them in the right way. He's going to pause with that left leg and table, reach his arms up towards the ceiling. Good. And then continue his toe taps. Notice that his low back is really stable. He's not overarching. He's not imprinting his spine. He's maintaining that neutral. Good. He's working super slow. No rush. The slower he goes, actually, the more he's creating a challenge. Good. And then he's going to keep both legs in table. He's going to start to lower both legs now. That he's going to go small with this one. And as those legs go down, he has more work to do with that abdominal wall. The lower you go, the harder it gets. But you don't want to go so low that you start to feel it in your low back. Then you've gone too far. You need to rein back. Work deeper in your core. So go back to that very first exercise. Belly rising, drawing that navel in. Work on that. Once you have that, you can do your double toe taps. After this next one, he's just going to hug his knees into his chest. He's going to do a little rock from side to side just to give the low back a little extra massage, maybe circling around the sacrum, undoing any tension there. Nice. He's going to get up, go about the rest of his day.